Let's see. I think it's live. It says I'm live. This Hangout on the Air is now live. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Let me fix this mic. Ooh, let's see. All right. What's up, guys? Fleet's Enema. What's up? Fleet's Enema is a regular attendee of these events. Thanks for joining. All right, so let's talk about, what are we going to talk about today, guys? I guess it's kind of up to you. I didn't come in here with a clear agenda or an idea on what exactly we're going to be talking about, so I'm just going to wait for your questions to come in. You guys want to talk politics? Everyone wants to talk politics today. Everybody becomes an expert on politics election day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to talk about politics on here. All right. If you got any questions, put them right here in the little box. Denise Drake says, no, don't talk politics. Oh, man. The sane will stay off Facebook today. For those who are listening on a later date, today is the day after Election Day. So everybody's pretending to be very well informed and highly intelligent, highly informed on world politics, geopolitics, philosophy, and history. Everybody becomes an instant expert. So here's Ryder. 6-week update. Whoa. That guy. Look at that guy. What's up, man? You got anything to say? Do you have anything to say to the nice people here on YouTube? Denise Drake says, I'm just here to get back into keto. Husband and I got off track. What happened? How'd you get off track, Denise? It can be really, really easy to get off track and to slide into old habits. That's the thing about the old habits and the old ways, is they're already ingrained in us. We've already got those neurological pathways built in. We've walked down that path many times. It's a well-trodden path. And when you want to hack your way through the woods, I guess maybe that's not the best metaphor, because doing a ketogenic diet, treating your body well, giving yourself the nutrition you need, giving yourself the high quality nutrition you deserve, and loving yourself and treating your body like it's your temple is incredibly rewarding, but it can be really easy to slide back into those old patterns. Yeah, just Denise, you got to just get back on track. I hope this channel can help you get inspired and help you, get some better ideas on recipes to use, ways to manage your situation, and how to do keto properly. But make sure you're getting enough protein, first of all, sufficient protein. Make sure you're getting enough fat, but you're creating enough of that deficit if you're trying to lose body fat. Make sure you're leaving enough of a deficit so you can tap into that body fat, and just keep at it. Keep going, Denise. Don't feel bad about it. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track. Spider-Man says Trump or Hillary. I don't know, Spider-Man. It's a crazy world. It's just a crazy world that people pretend it matters, right? What happened to Kennedy? What happened to the last president that tried to actually do something about the situation? In Dealey Plaza? What happened there? I don't know. Let's see. We were taking care of Mom in her hospice care and had to cook a lot of carbs. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Denise. I hope everything's well with your mom. That's a really special time, right? It's really cool that you get to be there with her during that transition. So hope all goes well with that. Here you go. Do you think keto sticks are a good tool to use to see if you're in ketosis? No. Throw away the keto sticks. The keto sticks are about as reliable as, I don't know. The keto sticks are unreliable. Keto sticks are measuring levels of ketones in your urine. That really has no correlation at all, for the most part, with ketones in your blood. Yes, there is a correlation, but it's not what you think. Just because you got ketones in your urine doesn't mean you're using those ketones effectively. It means you're peeing them out. Your body probably sees them as excess. So throw the keto sticks away. If you really want to know that you are in ketosis, the only way to do that is to use a blood glucometer and measure your blood ketones. Your blood glucose is not going to tell you if you're in ketosis. Your pee strips are not going to tell you in ketosis. I don't know. Yeah, the keto sticks are useless. Throw them away. Unfortunately, blood ketone strips are like $4 to $5 a piece. It's absurd. It's insane. Um, so if you don't want to spend $4 to $5 every time you want to see if you're in ketosis, here's a way you could go about it. Do you feel good? Are you clear-headed? Do you have energy throughout the day? Do you feel alive and energized? Do you feel like you can generate energy? Is your mood okay? And are you able to sleep? Well, then your diet's probably going pretty well, assuming that your body composition is going in the direction that you're desiring. Probably doing well, and you're probably in ketosis. Um, if you're doing a medical ketogenic diet, of course, you're going to want to monitor blood ketones. But recreational users of ketosis, recreational ketogenic diet users who are doing it for improved cognitive function, for breaking old nasty habits, nasty dietary habits, and just doing it as a way to improve their health, to promote longevity, and to feel good, perform well. For those people, measuring blood ketones all the time might not be that relevant. So, yeah, and you can also stress yourself out. I mean, if you wake up in the morning and your whole day, like how you feel, if you feel like you're successful because of your blood ketone numbers, or if you let that blood glucometer tell you you're a failure, even though you're losing body fat, feeling good, doing well, if you're obsessed with this, with your blood glucose numbers, you wake up in the morning, you had a stressful night, you're up doing things you weren't supposed to do, like watching the news and stressing out and getting in that fear mode. The world's going to end. Everybody's so divided. It's all going to burn down. If you're doing that all night and you're all stressed out and you pay attention to the crap that they're telling you on the TV, listening to this nonsense and you're repeating it in your mind, you're going around with this filter of anxiety, of fear around everything in your life, then you're going to push your blood ketones down. You're going to push your blood glucose up. But if you're in a good mood, you're feeling good, you're doing well, then your blood ketones might be a little higher. Your blood glucose might be a little bit lower. But if you're a stressed out person, you tend to obsess over things, then reading that blood glucometer and stressing over that, adding that to the many other stressors that are going on in your life might not be that beneficial. So, yeah, that's my long ass answer to are keto sticks useful? All right, what are some good signs that you're in ketosis? Geek Me Scott. Thanks for joining, Geek Me Scott. Signs that you're in ketosis. Let's see. You should be clear-headed. You should not get super, super hungry all the time. You might even be skipping meals and not even notice it. You might go through your day and suddenly realize, oh man, I skipped lunch and I might be a little bit hungry now, or I think I should eat right now because normally I would eat. That's one good sign that you're in ketosis. Satiety. Another sign that you're in ketosis would be just a general feeling of calm, a more balanced mind state, and that would be due to the increase in GABA production, which is triggered by ketosis. So GABA, G-A-B-A, is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that actually protects the brain. It is a neuroprotective neurotransmitter. That's a mouthful, right, guys? Lots of nears in there. But, so, yeah, feeling a little bit more clear-headed, a little bit more stable, a little bit more emotionally stable will also be a side effect of ketosis for most individuals. If you really need to quantify it, blood ketones are what to measure. Keto sticks, not going to be very useful. Those are just ketones that would be wasted. If you're efficient at being in ketosis, if you're efficient at generating ketones and using those ketones, you'll have ketones in your blood, but you won't be peeing them out all the time. So there you go. All right, we got a bunch of questions. All good. Nurit Muchnick. Wow, Nurit Muchnick. Where are you from, Nurit? Sorry for the beginner's question. Don't be sorry. There's no bad question. I'm in keto almost 3 months, and suddenly bad leg cramps at night. What am I doing wrong? Good question. This is kind of a common thing for some people who haven't done a lot of research and start out a ketogenic diet and don't really formulate it correctly. You're probably short on magnesium. Magnesium, sodium, and potassium are the electrolytes. You need to balance those electrolytes when you're doing a ketogenic diet. You need to increase your intake of sodium. So, Nurit, make sure you're getting at least, like, I don't know, for you, probably a teaspoon, have 1 teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of salt, of high quality, whole, unrefined sea salt, or like a Himalayan mine salt or Bolivian mine salt, something like that. Have that salt daily on top of what you're already eating with your food, with your meals. Increase your sodium intake. It's kind of an arbitrary number, but for most people, that'd be enough. So make sure you're getting 5 to 7 grams of sodium at least per day. Also, make sure you're getting enough magnesium. Probably are going to want to add a magnesium supplement. Most of the soil nowadays, unfortunately, is very depleted in vital minerals that we need. Oh, it has ice cold water. And it's in this copper cup, and the copper is so cold. It feels so good. It's kind of hot here today, a little bit muggy and overcast, and it gets really the heat gets trapped here when it's overcast. So when it's not cloudy, it gets really nice and warm in the sun, and then at night it gets all crisp and cool here in the Andes of Ecuador. And we're at 5,000 feet, so the air is just amazing. It's incredible, so clean and fresh. But right now it's a little bit damp. It's a little bit dank. Anyways, sodium, magnesium, and potassium. Make sure you're getting potassium in. Eat a couple avocados each day. Take a magnesium supplement. If you're getting those leg cramps, I would recommend magnesium glycinate, because that will be preferentially used by muscle tissue, which is where you're probably not getting enough magnesium currently. So good luck with that, Nurit. It's a very common thing that electrolyte imbalance can cause an issue in the beginning of ketosis for a lot of people. So just balance them electrolytes. Get those in. Spider-Man says, I'm a Bernie Sanders guy because of free healthcare and free college. We all like a little free stuff now and then, Spider-Man. All right. Free stuff. Spider-Man is pro free stuff. All right. Have you ever gotten hemorrhoids from keto? No. Have you ever gotten herpes from a high-carb diet? That's my question to you, water lemon. Lemon water is pretty good. Actually, this cold water I've got right now would be a little better with lemon. We should do lemon water more, honey. Lemons don't grow here, she always tells me. So negative, right? It's totally negative. No, I'm just kidding. Bogdan. Good name, Bogdan. Hey, Tristan, what's going on? Yeah, let's skip politics. You guys are looking good together. Yeah, let's skip politics, right? Anytime we start talking politics with somebody, trigger warning, everybody gets triggered. Everyone gets all emotional. Everyone gets all whipped up because everybody is under such potent mind control these days. That's all I'll say about that. If you can't talk about it with your friends, families, and neighbors, and it's what is controlling your environment, then something's weird. All right. Let's see. What's up? Any good advice for long-haul truckers? Because our stomachs. I don't know what that means. Truckers? I read it as truckers because I figured that's what it was. Sorry, man. If you want to ask that question again. Here we go. Is eating all that fat eventually catch up to you? Is eating all that fat eventually catch up to you? Should you balance out with fruits as your weight comes off? Okay, so that's an interesting way of wording that question, Marcos. How's it going? Thanks for joining, man. Is eating all that fat eventually going to catch up to you? What does that mean? So you're making the assumption that eating fat is bad? Is that what you're saying? Because there's a huge body of research and evidence that glucose is far more damaging, that fat is actually highly efficient fuel. There's actually much less metabolic waste when you're burning fat. There are huge benefits, the anti-inflammatory components of ketones, the anti-inflammatory mechanisms of ketones like beta-hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate. So no, there's absolutely no concern long-term eating a high-fat diet. It's what we've done as human beings for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, or however long you think we've been here. We've been eating high-fat diet for a long, long time, especially if you're of like European descent. Now, of course, if you're in equatorial populations, you can make the argument that no, those people were probably eating a lot of fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as balancing out a ketogenic diet with vegetables later, with fruit later on, there's no need for fruit. If you enjoy fruit, great. I mean, seasonal fruit can be a wonderful idea. Yeah, I mean, eat the fruit in season. If you're living in Montreal, Quebec, or I mean, if you're if you're living in the Arctic Circle and you're importing watermelons and pineapples from Ecuador, and you're eating these photonic, these high energy fruits that are only growing in long light cycles, if you're eating those in like a tundra environment, I think that's kind of a silly little mismatch that you're going to be creating in your body there. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with fruit, but there's also nothing wrong with fat. So there's no reason to be afraid of eating fat. So that was kind of a loaded question. Let's see. So far, I feel great. Geek Me Scott says, so far, I feel great, other than sleep. I'm having trouble falling asleep. Any suggestions to fix sleep? All right, well, I was talking about electrolytes earlier. And electrolyte imbalance is the most common confounder for people doing a ketogenic diet. So you probably could use a little more magnesium. You can try upping your dose of magnesium in the evening, reduce your stress, make sure you're not being exposed to a lot of artificial light at night, and find ways to wind down and relax. Maybe use like a salt lamp at night, like a Himalayan salt lamp where it gives like an amber light instead of that bright blue, or read by candlelight. You got to change your environment. If you want to get to sleep better, you got to get out of that artificial blue light environment that tells us that it's summertime, daytime, wake up, cortisol all the time. And you got to stop checking your dang phone all the time too. Turn off technology at night. It's keeping you awake. Every time your phone rings, you're watching the news. We're all going to die. Stop, turn off the TV. Quit paying attention to the gibberish on the television. Quit letting them, quit accepting the programming from your television, and yeah, just relax in the afternoon. Drink some nice cold water, maybe take a cold shower, climb into bed, and fall asleep in the dark. Oh. It's funny giving people sleep advice when you have a 6-week-old child and everyone in my house is waking up almost every hour, except Ariana. Ariana just sleeps solid through the night. She is just really, really good sleeper. But Jessica has been getting very, very little sleep for the first few weeks when you got a newborn. It's intense, and I'm not complaining at all. It's amazing. One of the best experiences that one could ever be blessed with. But you don't get much sleep. But there's so much love. There's so much of just that amazing energy around. So it doesn't really affect you as much as if you're not getting sleep because you're stressed out, working a job you don't like, watching the news, being told to be afraid of neighbors and everybody else. It's all about the scenario that you're in. But you got to get control of your lifestyle and reduce your stress if you want to sleep well. All right. Denise Drake wants ways to eat fish. She hates fish, trying to learn to love it. I'm starting to eat sardines and kipper snacks. Denise, you got to learn to surround it with stuff you love, right? If you want to get more fish in, if you're trying to increase your DHA levels in your body, that's great. And wild-caught seafood is one of the best ways to do that because it also comes with iodine and selenium. So you've got these natural antioxidants which protect the DHA and keep it from going rancid like most fish oil pills and commercial fish oil is. So it's good that you're trying to eat more fish. It's awesome. Surround it with stuff you like. I don't know. I'd say like a really good basic one would be, in our cookbook, the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, there's actually a recipe using sardines, and it's basically you just heat up sardines with spices and coconut oil or butter in a pan. Then you take some broccoli or cauliflower. You can do like cauliflower rice. You put some butter on there, get some salt and pepper, or whatever spices you want. I like to use turmeric and black pepper together. I really like them together. And you mix that all up in a bowl with an avocado. You just smash it all up. Looks gross. Tastes amazing. It's delicious. And it's a super fast meal. You don't really have much prep there. And if you pre-prep your vegetables, there's almost no preparation time at all. You just open up that can of sardines, warm them up with the coconut oil and your spices, mix it all together. So there's an idea. Any relation to having gyno as a young man that continues in adulthood and something like insulin resistance or another issue that keto could fix, says Tuxgasm. What's up, Tuxgasm? Gyno. I mean, what you're dealing with there with gyno, that's a hormone imbalance. That's an estrogen dominance. That's a hormone imbalance. So if you're under chronic stress, that can upregulate the the aromatization of testosterone into estrogen. I mean, you could be dealing with a thyroid issue, but all of these usually can be connected to a disrupted circadian rhythm, and making environmental changes and dietary changes can be massively helpful for that. So you definitely are going to need to sway your hormonal balance back in a healthy direction by reducing the stress in your life. Stressors, that doesn't have to be like psychological or emotional stress, right? It can be psychological and emotional stress. A lot of people overlook that, but the stressor can be dietary as well. So if you're eating a lot of sugars, if you're binging on junk food, eating a lot of inflammatory foods and just processed crap, even if you're just like doing tons of like bacon all the time and that's your diet, you know, I mean, a bacon and eggs keto diet can be very limiting as well, as far as your micronutrient intake and as far as getting other valuable fat soluble vitamins that you're not going to find in bacon and eggs. But I would say reduce the toxic load on your body, clean up the diet, eat unrefined whole foods, skew towards a high fat ketogenic diet, get sufficient protein, definitely increase your DHA intake, which will drop your inflammation levels, and you're going to want to decrease your inflammation. So practices like cold exposure, finding ways to mitigate stress, of course, say it over and over again. It's easier said than done, right? But it's true. It's one of the most important things. Just dropping down the stress levels. Turn off the television. Quit reading propaganda. Quit reading divisive political propaganda. Quit being afraid all the time. I mean, this is a huge issue now. There's so much uncertainty and fear being pumped out into the masses, into the people. We need to get focused. We need to focus on the reality of what's here. And that's, you're in that body. You're blessed with this life. And you don't know for certain what happens after this. This is the one life that we know we get, right? And this is a beautiful experience. This is always expanding. It's always changing. So we need to get present here and appreciate and be grateful for what we have. Be grateful and focus on the good around us. Focus on what we're grateful for and build on that. Build on that momentum and focus on what you want to build on. Yeah, so I don't know. Van M. Mustafa says, what happens with bile and gallbladder during extended fasting? Is there a risk of stones formation if the bile is not used? Hey, that's an interesting question. That's a very interesting question. Now, I'm not an expert on bile. I'm not an expert on fasting either. I don't know every single physiological process that happens in the body when you fast. I do not know everything about the biology that's going down there. What I will say is that fasting is known to be safe in most cases. Physically, it's known to be physically safe. And highly intelligent. The body is used to fasting. We've been fasting for thousands of years, for hundreds of thousands of years. Since the dawn of humanity, we've gone through feast and famine periods. So we've gone through famines. That's why we store fat up in the summer and the spring and the fall for these long winters when we're not going to have abundant food. So I think, yeah, I don't think it should be a problem at all. But that is a very interesting question, something that you might want to dig into the research about. Search through PubMed, go do some research. And yeah, and I'm not a big proponent of long-term fasting for people, for most individuals. I'm not a proponent of fasting at all. So it's a powerful tool. It can be used intelligently, but I think many people use it unwieldily. Many people use it unintelligently, and they're just like, oh, let's fast. I'm going to tell this person to fast for 5-7 days. And it can be used. It can damage people. If you get too into it, if you get really obsessed with fasting, people get like addicted, and it can become kind of an eating disorder. That's good stuff. So yeah, not a huge proponent of fasting. Especially if it's just for physical body composition changes, it's unnecessary. I'd rather have somebody do long-term lifestyle changes that are sustainable. Fasting is not sustainable as a practice. You can't do it all the time. Shouldn't do it all the time. All right. Do you think having a 0-calorie monster a few times a week can kick you out of ketosis? Also, same goes for flavored water packs. Having a 0-calorie monster a few times a week can kick you out of ketosis. Look, worst case scenario, some of those artificial sweeteners could perhaps raise insulin levels if there's like sucralose in there. But for the most part, these artificial sweeteners are very, very low glycemic to no glycemic. I don't think it would be a problem just for ketosis, but I don't think it's going to benefit your health and longevity, like long term, you know? I mean, what's the 0-calorie monster? Come on now. It's like candy in a can. What are we, 8 years old? Let's drop those. I mean, drink black coffee. No, I'm geek me, Scott. Do what you want to do, man. But I don't think the 0-calorie monster is the healthiest way to go about it. And those flavored water packs, I think, are silly. Drink water. Get good water. Let's see. Daniel Velasquez says, I've lost too much weight. Any ideas? You lost too much weight. You're not eating enough, Daniel. Eat more food, man. Increase your food intake. Throw another meal in there consistently. You lost too much weight. You want to gain some weight? Got to eat more food. But yeah, losing weight quickly on keto, very common. Too much weight. Now, I don't know. It sounds like something might be off, right? If you mean that you're losing lean muscle mass, you're probably not getting enough protein. You're probably not stimulating the muscle, or you just don't need the muscle. You know, I mean, what's the point of keeping muscle that's going to hinder you, that's going to require metabolic activity, it's going to require a lot of energy input if you're not using it? So, yeah, I mean, if you're losing muscle mass, it should be a problem. It would be a problem, rather. But a properly formulated ketogenic diet will not make you lose lean muscle mass. So, yeah, if you lost too much weight, gain some weight by eating more food, man. You can add a little more carbohydrate if you want to gain some weight. Carbohydrates are a great way to gain weight quickly. Very, very powerful and anabolic. Protein in high levels is also very anabolic and will help you gain weight. So that might be what you should go for. Here we go. Any questions why I lost 17 pounds in 6 weeks on keto? Then within 2 or 3 days, gained 5 pounds, doing mostly the same macros. Yeah, Richard, that's water weight fluctuation, that 5 pounds. You probably lost about 12 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of water. So when you start a ketogenic diet, you lose water weight. And that can be 5 pounds, that could be 3 pounds, that could be 10 pounds for some people. But that water weight, it's not, some people are like, oh, it's just water weight. But that's actually a very, very good thing. That water weight, in a lot of cases, is from inflamed areas in the body. That's water, it's excess water retention leaving the body. Your frame, you don't have to hold it up. You don't have to hold this up in your fascia network of your body, in your skeletal muscle tissues. You don't have to hold that weight anymore. So it's good. The reason you would gain that back would be because your electrolytes were balanced again. So you probably got some magnesium, you probably got some more sodium in and some potassium in, and held a little bit more water. Or maybe you were stressed out and you held some water. So stress can make you hold water weight. You don't gain 5 pounds of fat overnight. Don't worry. You did not gain 5 pounds of fat. It is literally impossible to gain that overnight. Water, you will survive. Congratulations on your 12 pounds of weight loss. That's super impressive. 5 kilos down. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thanks for watching. Ali Asif says, can adults have best friends? That's cute. Can adults have best friends? Sure, adults can have best friends. How do you feel about vegan, vegetarian, keto diet? Best protein sources? Hemp protein? I don't really feel anything about vegan, vegetarian, keto diets. My opinion, like an intellectual opinion, would be that they're probably not the best idea, and I wouldn't recommend it. Vegan or vegetarian protein sources. Vegetarian protein sources would be like eggs. Hemp protein can be good. But no, I'm not gonna. I can't. I can't in good conscience recommend a vegan, vegetarian, ketogenic diet. Sorry, guys. Nothing wrong with it. If you want to be vegan, vegetarian, go for it. Why are you skipping questions? Because I have so many questions. I'm going to sit here and read every single question. It's nothing personal. Let me go find your question again. Natasa, where's your question? Do you have any experience in keto diet and Parkinson's? All right, so Parkinson's, hardcore. Ketogenic diet has been shown to be very, very effective with many neurological disorders, including Alzheimer's. Now, Parkinson's, I don't know. I personally don't have any experience in helping individuals who have Parkinson's implement a ketogenic diet. I've not seen any evidence concerning keto and Parkinson's. So, Natasha, the reason I didn't answer that question earlier, I did see it, is because I just don't have much experience with it. I would say that trying a keto, that would be the first thing that I would recommend an individual who, if I had a loved one and they had any sort of neurological, neurodegenerative disease, I would instantly recommend that they implement a ketogenic diet, high in DHA, high in magnesium, with a lot of vegetables, lots of chlorophyll. That's what I would recommend. That's just personal. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not here to give medical advice. But yeah, I wish you luck with it. These neurological diseases. This is it's harsh. I mean, it's a harsh reality that we're having to face, especially our generation. We're seeing neurodegenerative diseases in people in their 30s. We're seeing signs of Alzheimer's, people in their 30s and 40s. Why is this? It's not just because of the food we're eating. Yes, the food we're eating, the diet is horrible. It's terrible. I mean, this high refined sugar, high processed carbohydrate diet is absolutely contributing to the degeneration of our brains. And it's been shown that since the dawn of agriculture, our brain size has decreased dramatically. Our brain size has been shrinking since we've become enslaved to agriculture, to agricultural-based societies. This is a fact. Our brain size has gone down. But it's not just the agriculture food, the monocropping. We're talking, it's a multifaceted issue. We've got glyphosate contaminating the soil, stripping it of vital minerals. We've got the destruction of the microbiome of the soil by glyphosate. I mean, there's glyphosate in almost all rainwater tested worldwide. They've found glyphosate, Roundup. That's a pesticide and insecticide that is known to destroy the tight junctions in the gut, open up the gut-brain barrier, and allow those toxins to flood in. And we've also got, that's just one of the environmental issues that we're dealing with. We've also got massive amounts of pollution. I mean, there's very big issues that we're having to deal with this generation and this in this lifetime. And neurodegenerative diseases, unfortunately, are increasing. So making sure to eat a diet, Natasha, I would say making sure what I would do in your situation, in the situation of the loved one that you're asking on behalf of, I would eat a diet high in fat, a lot of coconut oil, using some seasonal vegetables, local vegetables, high vegetable intake, and a lot of DHA. A lot of fresh wild-caught seafood like sardines and salmon. You'll get a lot of that in there. You want to decrease the inflammation in the body. You also want to decrease stress. I would also implement cold exposure. Getting in cold bodies of water, getting in the ocean, changing the individual's environment also is going to be very important. Turn off the dang Wi-Fi. Get rid of the Wi-Fi. If you got a smart meter on your house, break it with an axe. Good luck with that. It's hard. I mean, these are things that I don't know. There's no easy, quick answer for this, and I really feel for you, Natasha. So good luck. Rocky DFW says at 5'10" and 360 pounds. There you go. You're right for keto, Rocky. You got this, man. What would be the best way to get started in the ketogenic lifestyles and any workout recommendations? All right, as far as workouts go, swimming, low impact. Don't go start smashing heavy weights around with poor form. Don't build a bunch of dense muscle tissue and connective tissue around a crooked frame. So the workouts is actually going to be the least important part of this, Rocky. What you need to do is implement, or not what you need to do, what I would recommend you do is implement a high-fat, low-carbohydrate ketogenic diet. Focus on nutrient-dense whole foods. Eat 3 meals a day. Don't snack. Don't snack. No snacking. And once you're well adapted to that, then you could start using other tools like intermittent fasting and other powerful fat loss tools like, well, like weight training intelligently, like intelligent activity, like going and swimming in natural bodies of water, swimming in the ocean, hiking in nature, things like this, things that are going to reduce your stress and help you to break down some of those old tissues, transport them out of your endocrine system, and build up a new healthy body. So yeah, man, there's a wealth of information on this YouTube channel. We've got the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. You can check that out on our website. I'll put a link down below on this video. It's actually a lot more than just a cookbook. We call it a training manual for for low carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. Now it's more than just a cookbook because we get into a lot of theory behind keto. There's a lot of there's an entire chapter about how to properly implement a well-formulated ketogenic diet. So it's kind of more than just a cookbook, but it also gives you this huge swath of tools with that you can use to build your new lifestyle. So it's got to be more than just, I'm going to change my diet. You can't change your diet. A diet's not going to help you lose over 100 pounds. You got to change the lifestyle. So that's what you got to look at. You got to look at rebuilding a healthy lifestyle that you get to rebuild all your habits from the ground up. And the opportunity, it's a beautiful thing. It's incredible. It's like you're being reborn in a lot of ways. You get to completely rearrange how you treat yourself, how you live. So congratulations on your journey, man. Keep it up. You got this. Kevin Jackson says, hey, man, just got my maca. Love it. Well, not the taste, but it's like rocket fuel. Rocket fuel. Wow. I see. I don't get rocket fuel effect from maca, but individuals who are under kind of a significant amount of environmental or emotional, physical stress, they can feel just like it just all opened up for them. But yeah, maca is freaking amazing, right? Thanks for enjoying it. I'm glad that we can share it with you. We've got several hundred units left of 1 kilo bags of maca on the website. If you want to know about maca, I've talked about it a bunch, but you can check out, we've got a free ebook. I'll put the link down below as well. We've got a free ebook called Maca, the Andean Adaptogen. And you say you don't like the taste, man, but you might be able to, if you check out some of the recipes in that maca, the Andean Adaptogen, it's a mouthful, right? So you got a dry mouth. It's a dry mouthful. Check out that ebook. It actually gives you some ways that you can, there's a lot of recipes in there. I think there's like 17 recipes using maca and showing use this adaptogen, which was one of the most powerful staple crops of the Inca. They would feed it. Actually, the Incan warriors would feast on this stuff for days before going into battle. And the women knew that they would have to hide themselves because the men would be so virile and their sex drive would be so high that the women would get freaked out and they would just kind of chill out and close up when all the dudes started munching on maca. But the women also use maca historically for fertility issues. It's very, very beneficial for women dealing with menopause symptoms as well. What's up, Ariana? My daughter, 4 going on 14. All right. Is that a Moscow Mule? That is a Moscow Mule. But it's not vodka. It's water. I don't drink vodka. Check it out. A Moscow Mule. Big old copper pitcher. That thing's awesome. I like that thing. And this beard's getting long. I think it's time for a shave. A few years ago, I had a beard. It was down to my chest. It was ridiculous. It was disgusting. All right. Thank you so much for sharing from Orlando, Florida. Thanks, Marcos. Thanks for watching, man. You guys want to say hi to Jessica? Should I call Jessica in here? She's being avoidant. She's being avoidant. Okay, here she is. Woo! There she is, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
From the garden. What's up, Ryder?
Whoa.
Pulling all
Two
his hair.
fistfuls of hair.
He's yanking that hair. You're looking big. There's Ryder. 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
I was actually just talking about your cookbook.
Oh.
I was hyping it up a bit.
Well, that's
This is the author of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook right here.
I am.
Celebrity author, Jessica.
Jessica. One name only.
Self-proclaimed celebrity author, Jessica.
Internet bestseller.
Internet sensation. Internet Mother of the Year. As awarded by primaledgehealth.com. Jessica Haggard. So somebody said they don't like the taste of maca, but they love the effects.
Yeah.
I love the effects and I love the taste. I like making
like the
chocolate with maca.
Mhm.
Should we talk about chocolate, guys?
You should. Also, just like super preamble about that is that the more you take something, the more your taste buds adjust to it. And you like, if you just push through it, you're going to adapt.
Dude, maca tastes good. Come on.
And it actually does taste really
Just
good.
being an apologist. Dude, I think maca tastes great, especially with cacao.
And we have all those recipes too in our maca ebook. There's a bunch of different recipes. It's a free ebook you can download. There's 17.
See? Told
Did you
you.
already tell them?
Told you guys.
Tristan told you.
They thought I was lying. They thought I was lying.
And then Tristan has made this amazing chocolate quite often in the last few days.
Chocolate. All right.
Chocolate.
Andrew says yes, talk about chocolate.
Yes.
Ryder
yes,
says
please.
yes, talk about chocolate.
Yes.
Let's get some more Ryder cries.
Let's do that.
Spit it, boy. Uh-huh. One more. Ooh. Look at that. Just pure expression right there. Okay, so chocolate. Maca chocolate. Get
Chocolate.
Woo.
That's
That was a hit. That was a great joke, Jessica. Got a laugh from the 4-year-old. All right, and maca and chocolate synergize fantastically together. And actually, cacao chocolate was another one of these Incan royalty staple foods. Now, the priesthood of the Inca would feast on chocolate. The Maya were also super into chocolate. They would use it ceremonially. Now, the way that I like to make chocolate using maca, I like to make very low carb chocolate with maca. So you get cacao butter, you get cacao powder. Use about, well, what I do is I use 1 cup of oil, and that's like equal parts coconut oil and cacao butter. You do more cacao butter, it'll be denser. You do more coconut oil, it'll be softer at room temperature. If it's in the fridge, it'll be pretty soft regardless. I like coconut oil. I love the way it tastes. So I sometimes use more coconut oil. Then I use 1/2 to 1 cup of cacao powder. Now, the cacao powder gives it the bitterness. So you don't want to use cocoa powder. Don't buy this Hershey's crap using African slave labor. Buy South American sourced, high quality, organic cacao powder and cacao butter. Don't support this Nestle freaking crap. So 1 cup of the oils, 1 part coconut oil, 1 part cacao butter, 1 cup cacao powder, and then for maca, of course. And I like to put, for this recipe, I'll put about 3 to 4 tablespoons, sometimes more, of maca for this recipe. I think I did 3 last time. Jessica's correcting me. How dare she? She's in the other room. All right, she's gone. Whew. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so maybe 2-3 tablespoons of maca. A dose of our maca is like 1 teaspoon, and for most people, they'll feel that. I like to take bigger doses. So mix the maca in with the powder. You melt the oils either in a double boiler or you just melt them over the stove. So you put like 3 teaspoons of maca. Then I put collagen. I put a little bit of collagen powder. I use that Great Lakes collagen protein stuff, supposedly grass-fed. It's not something I eat all the time, but it's nice to use in recipes here and there. We've been experimenting with it. So I use about 3 tablespoons of 4 tablespoons of that collagen. Put that in there with the cacao powder. Mix that up. I also add, you can use, if you like Lakanto, you can use like 2 tablespoons of Lakanto for this recipe. So the 2 tablespoons of Lakanto, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of yacon powder. Very low glycemic sweetener. It comes from a tuber, and it's actually mostly inulin, which is an indigestible fiber that has a sweetness. So a little bit of yacon powder. You mix all the powders up. Also, you could use like MCT powder if you want to give it another little layer of stuff, but most of the powders are optional. The only ones that you need are the cacao powder and the maca. And then if you want to sweeten it, you can use Lakanto, which is a monk fruit extract mixed with some erythritol. So there's a natural sweetener. And then you melt the oil and you pour it in there, mix it all up in a little Pyrex. Then you put it in the fridge or the freezer, or you can put it in little individual serving containers. But a serving of this for me, or for like, this will make about 8 servings for a normal human being. For me, this is a very controversial subject in the house. I gotta say it quietly. For me, this is like 2-3 servings. But that's occasional. Be careful. It's addictive. It's delicious. All right. Kevin Jackson says, I haven't had the maca long enough to make anything. Just eating a spoonful with water and some yerba. Yeah. Thanks for the super fast shipping to the Bay Area. Kevin Jackson in the Bay Area. I think, correct your language, Kevin Jackson, since you're from the Bay Area, you said, thanks for the super fast shipping. That should be hella fast shipping. Right, Jessica?
Right.
That's right. That should be hella fast shipping. Jessica is also from the Bay Area. She concurs. All right.
That's probably so outdated by now.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, the people probably don't even say that anymore. Is Hyphy still alive, Kevin? Is it dead? R.I.P. Hyphy. I'm just kidding. We know. R.I.P. Mac Dre. What are your thoughts about a plant-based diet? Is it better to get plant proteins or animal proteins? I've talked about this a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that again. You're trying to bait me. Trying to trigger me. No.
We like plants. We eat vegetables.
Yeah, I like plants. I like people who eat plant-based diets. I ate a plant-based diet.
Would you eat a person who eats a plant-based diet?
No, that's veganism. That's barbaric. Your favorite fats? Favorite fats. Coconut oil is delicious.
Probably.
Coconut oil is so good. I like olive oil also. Olives.
Real olive oil.
Real olive oil. Peruvian olive oil is so freaking good. This is a different type. They're called botija. Boeija olives. And they make a really good olive oil. So we got that.
Coconut oil is the go-to oil, though. It's so good for cooking. You know,
That's
it handles
so
the temperature really well. Olive oil is good for cold press.
Oh,
oil,
what
for
about
sure.
avocados, though? Come on now.
Avocados, yeah.
Shout out to avocados.
I really like hemp seeds.
Hemp seeds are good.
Brazil
else?
nuts.
Brazil nuts are pretty cool.
Tahini.
Ariana, what's one of your favorite fat sources? What's one of your favorite fat sources?
Shut your mouth.
Okay. Ariana does not want to participate. Okay. When you eat honey, how and how much do you consume?
Are you asking us or Ariana?
Ariana. Yeah, that's a question for Ariana. Hey, Ariana. Oh, when you're eating honey, how much do you consume it and how do you consume it? You're too heavy. Stand there. Tell them, how do you eat honey and how much do you eat?
How much? First.
Answer the question.
Yeah, I am.
Hurry up. Come on.
Like probably 2 big spoonfuls is enough.
Okay.
Right?
Probably 2 big spoonfuls is enough, right?
And how do
Yes.
you eat it?
How do you eat it?
Wait. My favorite way is honey and yogurt.
Favorite way is honey and yogurt. There you go. So Ariana likes honey with yogurt. Look, if you're on a ketogenic diet, you're not going to be eating honey. So I've been having honey in a long time. But when I do eat honey, I don't know. I kind of like it. Last time I was eating honey, it was with these flax and chia seed pancakes
Mm.
and these chia flatbreads that are actually in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. The last time I was eating honey.
I don't remember you measuring it.
Yeah, I wouldn't measure it. Yeah.
I had honey when I was pregnant 6 weeks ago. And I just had it in my tea, but I wasn't measuring my macros when I was pregnant. Just enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are you using it for? So you ask this question: when you eat honey, how much and do you consume, and when do you consume it? Why do you consume it? Why are you using honey? Are you using it for like a sore throat or something? You have a sore throat, you can kind of just put a glob of honey in the back of your throat
With
and let
cinnamon.
it
You
drip.
mix the two together.
Let it drip down. It'll kind of anesthetize that and kill any bad bacteria that are in there. It depends on why you're using it, you know. I mean, yeah. Thoughts on peely nuts? Delicious, but kind of heavy.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So for people who don't know, peely nut, it tastes like chocolate. You can grind it up and it has this chocolate flavor that can replace a cacao. But it's very, very thick and very dense. But if it's quite good.
It can be good. Yeah, it can be. It's almost a chocolatey flavor. It can be really good for desserts, but I think it can't be like, you can't do straight peely nut butter or something like that. You got to mix it up with something lighter to make me happy. I'm picky, obnoxiously picky. All right. Peace Weaves says, what exactly does it mean for something to be an adaptogen? That's a good question. So an adaptogen is something that helps the body to adapt to environmental stress. It's that simple. It's something that helps the body to adapt to stressors. There are a lot of adaptogens out there. A lot of adaptogens. Reishi mushroom, chaga mushroom, ashwagandha, holy basil. I mean, there's so many powerful herbs that help the body to adapt to stressful situations, and it's kind of a broad term. Now, maca, as an adaptogen in particular, grows at super, super high altitude. So we're talking like 15,000 feet. Maca grows above where grass won't even grow. Grass won't grow there. Trees won't grow there. There's nothing. It's above the tree line, above the grass line. So it grows in this really harsh, low oxygen, pretty cold environment high up in the Andes. And the people use it to help them adapt to stress, especially altitude. So maca and coca were both two very powerful adaptogens that were historically used throughout the Andes of South America to help the individuals deal with the stressors of the environment, to deal with stressors such as long journeys with no food or water, high altitude where you have less oxygen, more pressure. These people would not have survived the high altitudes if it weren't for foods like maca and crops like coca. So, yeah, there's a little bit of history. If you want to learn more about adaptogens and about maca in specific, just check out the free ebook. There'll be a link in the little thing here. So, yeah. Can maca help sleep? I mean, it's not a sleep aid. If you're looking for an adaptogen that's going to help you sleep, you might want to look into holy basil or ashwagandha. Look into those ones. Holy basil is a good one for sleep. Let's see. Hi, Tristan. Thank you for your inspiration, knowledge, and awesome cookbook. Wow. That's her. I'll take the credit, but I'll give some to her because she's the one who actually did the cookbook. I only wrote like some of the chapter intros and stuff and like helped her edit it. She did the whole thing. Ryder's asleep. And she rocks the baby to sleep. All right. Let's see. We'll do a few more. Peace Wave says, so coca, isn't that cocaine? Yeah, the cocaine is actually extracted from the coca leaf. But the coca leaf itself is not cocaine. Just like you can grow a poppy in your front yard and have a flower, and inside that flower, there will be morphine, but it has to be extracted and you have to use a shit ton of material to actually get a small amount of morphine. The coca leaf is one of the most powerful adaptogens, one of the most powerful medicinal plants known to man. And unfortunately, as tends to happen with anything good, people extracted this one chemical from it, highly refined it into this white powder where you're only getting this one alkaloid rather than the huge mix of alkaloids and the tiny amounts of this one alkaloid that would be in there. They extracted it all in this powder that degenerates then sniff into their nose and make terrible pop music with. So yeah, it is. Cocaine comes from the coca plant, but that doesn't mean that the coca plant is an insidious, dangerous thing. This is a plant that somebody figured out how to extract something from, just like Valium came from an extract from the valerian root. I think I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Valium came from an extract and is synthesized from something that was first discovered in valerian root. That doesn't mean if you take valerian root, you're taking freaking Valium. It's just like with, like with the poppy, right? Like if you take a poppy and you make, like people have been doing poppy tea for thousands of years. That's not like slamming heroin just because you can make heroin from the poppy plant, The thing about politics and politrickstas and the drug war and all this, social engineering, social control, is that these plants become powerful tools, and these extracts from these plants, these ways to stimulate the human organism become really powerful tools for control, social control, and at other levels as well. So yeah, unfortunately, the coca leaf is banned in most places and is illegal in most places throughout the world. But it's actually very powerful and has many potential medicinal uses. But that's all blocked because some idiots like to take things too far. And some psychopaths just like to go and tell people what they're allowed to put in their bodies and what they're allowed to do with their bodies, their mind, and what they're allowed to say and think. And some people watch enough TV to believe that those people's reality is valid. All right. I'm definitely going to check out the ebook. I just have never used adaptogens at all. I just try to stay away from all stimulants. There you go. All right. That's a good one. I should have said that before. When somebody said that earlier, that maca really gets them energized, I meant to mention that maca is not a stimulant. I'm not into stimulants at all. Maca is not a stimulant. Let me say that again. Most adaptogens are not stimulants. Now, I guess the coca leaf is a stimulant, but it's not a stimulant like the extracts from that plant would be. So I did associate maca and coca there, and coca is definitely considered a stimulant by many people. But yeah, maca is not a stimulant. Maca has been shown to help support the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis. It helps support your adrenals when they're under stress. They don't just make your adrenals pump stress hormones out, like if you drink a bunch of coffee or sniff a bunch of disgusting powder into your face. So, yeah. There you go. James Shannon's asking about autophagy. Interested in a video about autophagy. Does keto stimulate autophagy to the same levels as fast? Yeah, all right. So autophagy is a very important process, a very important mechanism that our body has to clear out waste. When you're deprived of calories, when you get into deep ketosis, or when you fast, your body goes into autophagy, where it removes dead and dying and weak cells and replaces them with strong ones. So it's just kind of a detoxification process, autophagy, and ketogenic diet would upregulate autophagy, would improve autophagy. To the same levels of fasting? Surely not, because you'll be eating some protein, which will stimulate some mTOR and release a little bit of insulin. So you're going to have some insulin going through. You're going to have some interruption of that autophagy, no matter what diet you're on. The deepest autophagy would be entered through fasting and deep activation of AMPK pathways, which you can also activate through cold exposure. So taking ice baths can also improve autophagy. So yeah, that's a huge, I definitely should get into some of that stuff more and geek out on some of these things in some podcasts and in some videos. Thanks for the reminder. Paul Sutton asks about Phenibut views. Phenibut, all right, yeah, that Phenibut, that can people should be careful with that. If you're looking to upregulate GABA, maybe instead of using a drug like Phenibut, which can be habit forming, possibly addictive for a lot of individuals, people withdraw from that stuff. People get some nasty withdrawals, not to the level of like benzodiazepines or any of these dangerous pharmaceutical drugs like that, but Phenibut, which is basically a pharmaceutical drug, comes from Russia. For those of you who've never heard of it, it is a drug that allows GABA to get through the blood-brain barrier to increase your GABA levels from a pill. Now, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Don't get too into it. It's not like horrible. I'm not saying it's like a terrible, addictive, dangerous drug. If you can handle yourself or whatever, I mean, if you're not like going to have issues with it, I'm sure it can be fine, but I wouldn't recommend it. 95% of people. Some people use it for sleep. Some people use it for anxiety. But I would say eating a nutrient-dense ketogenic diet, working on your lifestyle, through making environmental changes and changes internally, we should be striving to maintain that state of freedom from anxiety, freedom from fear and anger, just control over our physiology, control over our intention and our body. We should be able to do that naturally without that Phenibut. So, yeah, I mean, you can eat a ketogenic diet and increase GABA naturally with no drugs. Let's see. So many. All right. I know there's probably a bunch of questions that I skipped. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Denise Drake says, yes, no, kombucha, black coffee, olives, sprouted flax seeds. Sure. All of them. Watch the sugar in kombucha. All right. We'll do a few more questions and then I'm going to take off. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Paul Sutton says ketosis obviously stimulates the glutamate, spelled right, is positively beneficial towards GABA control. Also, drug-free is a good. All right, Paul. Paul's from Russia. What's up, Paul? Comrade Paul. Thanks for watching, man. I wonder how many people in Russia actually watch this channel. I don't know what time it is in Russia. Shout out to Putin. Tell him I said what's up. Let's see. All right. Let's wrap this up. Peace Wave says, haha, yep. I don't know what that's about. Trump. Yeah, Trump. Oh, man. All right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Thanks for the questions, guys. I hope we got to answer everybody's questions. Let me scroll through here one more time and see. What's your favorite? Oh, that's cool. Wait. Radio silence. I always feel like when I do these hangouts, you can't leave silence, but it's fine. You guys can wait. Let me just look through here. Any hacks you use in Ecuador about reducing indoor humidity and or getting in cold thermogenesis, meaning cold exposure? Okay, reducing indoor humidity. A lot of people will burn things. They have fires. Palo Santo is one thing that a lot of people use. This is actually, I'm pretty sure this is petrified Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a, I've got some right here. Now, here in the Andes where we live, humidity is not really a huge problem. You can't even see, there it is. It's just a big piece of wood. And you burn it and it dries it up and it keeps pests away. The volatile oils in Palo Santo are very, very, they smell amazing and they could have a lot of therapeutic benefits as well. I'm not sure what kind of research has been done into it, but I do know people who have benefited from using it topically. But yeah, using Palo Santo to keep the humidity down, but also I don't live in a humid area, and that's intentional. I don't like humidity. I'm not into humidity at all. So yeah, I would say like if you're living in a humid area, I don't really have that much advice for you. Live near a river. We it gets hot here, it gets warm here, and it's a little bit more humid. Excuse me, during this time of year, but we've got a nice cold river here. So I like getting in the river, very cold. I like going and hiking up high where the water's even colder and getting in the river as well. Cold showers also ways to cool off a little bit. But yeah, that's it. Someone else asks, what are some of your favorite fiction / nonfiction books? That's a good question. Jessica's shouting out. She's reading A Song of Fire and Ice from George R.R. Martin, Germ. And she's like 3 books deep. I've read the first book and like half the second book. It was cool. I mean, I've never been into, I don't know, fiction. I like literature. I mean, I really like, here's the only book in sight, The Glass Bead Game by Hesse. Hermann Hesse. The Glass Bead Game. That's an amazing piece of fiction. I've not finished it. I've read the first few chapters like 10 times, and it's just so beautifully written that I just want to reread it over and over again. Let's see what else. I like Emerson. Emerson's great. Yeah, C.S. Lewis has some good stuff. The Screw Tape Letters, that was a book I read recently that I really enjoyed by C.S. Lewis. The Screw Tape Letters. So yeah, there's a few. There's a few there. Nonfiction. Nonfiction. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Throwing out Emerson, Hermann Hesse. What's another book I've read recently? You don't get to read a lot of books when you got 2 kids and you're always researching stuff and doing stuff like that. But I've been making it a point to read a little bit more. And what I've been reading has been The Glass Bead Game from Hermann Hesse. Like the 3rd time I've tried to read this book. I can't stop reading the first few chapters. It's so well done. But that and Emerson's essays and letters. I've been reading that also. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm scrolling down to the bottom, see if there's any last questions. All right. Andrew Scarborough says, you play any sports? No, I don't. Not currently. I don't play sports. I'm an adult. Come on. I grew up playing baseball and, as you would call in the UK, football, as I would call in America, soccer. I played soccer and baseball. I don't know, like mixed reviews on sports in general. Enjoyable. There's a lot of beneficial things to it, but I think getting children in sports young and pushing them in athletic pursuits can be dangerous. Not just for them like psychologically and emotionally, because parents go freaking nuts at these t-ball games. I mean, we're seeing fist fights at soccer games and stuff like that. It was crazy. But let's all that. As far as like sports for kids, let's take baseball, for instance. All right, baseball. What is baseball all about as far as movement goes? We're basically looking at a twist motion when you're batting. So we're looking at a twist and a pop. So it's hip motion, it's twist. But you're doing the twist one way. Thousands of repetitions on my right leg, looking to the left. Thousands of repetitions of this from the age of like 5 years old to whatever age you stop playing baseball. I quit playing baseball when I was like 13. Stopped playing all sports when I went into high school, and just took like a different path and wasn't so into it anymore. But you're essentially in baseball, you're doing a twist motion one way, throwing with one hand. I dislocated my shoulder when I was 12 in baseball. It'll never be the same. I could pop it in and out whenever I want. Handling loads over I mean, it's an injury that has affected my gait cycle, my walk, which is also likely affected by the dominance on the right leg. So I was really into baseball, and I got into skateboarding. Was very into skateboarding, which is also, for me at least, was a right leg dominant activity. Very, very, like, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of repetitions. Like, I mean, I don't know how many kick flips I've done in my life, but it's basically a motion of it's just over and over again, jumping off the right foot, kicking with the left leg. And you don't, I mean, nobody really in these sports, especially when you're a kid, you're not practicing batting switch. You're not switch hitting. You're not batting both ways. I mean, I feel incredibly goofy swinging a bat left-handed. So, yeah, I mean, sports can be fun for kids, but man, I think they're doing a lot of damage physiologically by creating these motor patterns, creating muscle imbalances, and I mean, combined with, all right, so first of all, you're doing thousands of repetitions, twisting once of movement in one direction only, using one arm to throw. I mean, I developed a scoliosis as a kid. I had a crooked spine. So when you combine that dominance on one leg, the twisting motion on one leg, that vector force going in in one direction only, then you sit down all day in the school. You sit down in a hard chair and listen to lies being dribbled all over you all day in this, really insanely formatted education model. You're just asking for physiological imbalances and health issues long term. So yeah, I don't know about these sports for kids. It's pretty crazy. Let's see. I batted .575 until high school. Then I quit because I found weed and alcohol. Says that's Crocco. Well, I'm glad you got off the baseball, man. Got onto that weed and alcohol. It really saved you from that baseball. No, yeah, that's a common occurrence, man. People get into other things. People discover there's more to life than sports, than structured competition, than warfare simulation, not stimulation. Yeah, I mean, sports have their place, but I think it's really, I don't know. I'm unable to speak English. I'm unimpressed with society's use of sports. I mean, it just becomes a tool for social control. I mean, more people are well informed about the batting average of their favorite baseball player, and they have no freaking idea who their local sheriff is. They don't know their own rights. They don't know what the Bill of Rights is. I mean, this is like, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy. I love competition's fun. Physical movement is amazing. The only sport that I watch, the only sport that I will follow right now is, I do like to follow MMA. And only, like, when I say MMA, I just mean the UFC, because all these other leagues are pretty much garbage. But yeah, I'll follow that. I mean, what's up with this fight this weekend? Anybody going to watch Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez? What do you guys think about that? That's gonna be a good fight. Tyron Woodley against Wonderboy. That's gonna be good. So yeah, I'm excited about that. But that's the only sport I watch now. Let's see.